The English alphabet is the cornerstone of the English language. However, not all letters are created equal, which is why today I am going to be ranking every letter from A to Z on a tier list from S to F. Now you may be wondering, what am I actually even doing with my life at this point? And that's actually a really good question, but anyways, make sure to watch the full video till the end to see where your favorite letter gets ranked, and let's get right into it. Okay, so we're gonna start with the letter A, which is the first letter in the alphabet. And since it's a vowel, that means it's actually a pretty useful letter. And so all vowels are going to get at least B tier. However, A is one of the better vowels, as it's more frequently used, as opposed to something like the vowel U. So we're going to put in A tier, which is quite fitting. Okay, next we move on to B. Now B is a consonant, however, it's not the most frequently used one. However, it's still useful. Since it's not as frequently used as some of the others, it's going straight to C. Speaking of C tier, it is time for the letter C, which is pretty useless because it could usually be replaced with the letter S or the letter K. However, it's still quite useful for some consonant blends like CH. So for that reason, we'll put into D instead of F. Okay, now the letter D. Now D is quite a useful consonant. However, I'm going to put in the same tier as B because they're used about the same frequency. Okay, the letter E. E will be getting an easy S tier as it is the most common letter in the English language. It's a vowel and it's extremely useful. Next is F, which I'll just put in C tier for the same reasons as B and D. It's just another consonant that's used somewhat frequently, but not too frequently. G, however, will go to B because it's used in a couple consonant blends and it's also quite a frequently used consonant. Same with H for the same reason. It's used in consonant blends and it's not really obscure. I is going to go to A tier with A because it's a pretty useful vowel, but it's not as good as E. J will go in D tier because it's a pretty rarely used consonant, and it's not used in any consonant blends. Next we have K, which will go C tier because, you know, just a decent consonant. L, on the other hand, is quite useful, so go to B tier. It's just a frequently used letter, and I mean, it's a nice sounding consonant. M will go to C tier because though it's quite useful, it's still kind of mid. N will go to B tier because it's quite frequently used. It's used in consonant blends. O will go to A tier because it's a pretty useful vowel. The letter P will go to C tier along with the other less frequently used consonants. Okay, Q is a useless letter, so it's going in F tier. It'll always be replaced with the letters K and W, like in Quest. And you might be thinking sometimes it's pronounced as a K, but we could just replace it with the letter K, so it's useless. R is another really useful consonant, so I'll go to B. Okay, S will be our first consonant going to A tier because it is insanely useful. You can use it to make any word plural, and it's used in loads of consonant blends, so it's going straight to A tier. So for the same reason, T is also going because it's just such a useful consonant. U will be our first vowel to go to B tier as it's less frequently used than the others, and I would argue it's less useful. Okay, V is going to D tier. It's very rare that you need this letter. W will go to B tier as it's a W letter, like literally. And it's used in a lot of consonant blends, used in the big 5 questions: who, what, when, where, and why. X is another useless letter. It can always be replaced with the letter K and S, like in explore, or like in xylophone, we could just use a Z. Y is a weird letter because it's sort of like a vowel, but most people don't consider it a vowel. I will put it in A tier as it's quite useful and it's used in quite a bit of words. Last but not least is Z, which is going to S tier because even though it's not frequently used, the fact that I was humble enough to put it itself in last place in the alphabet makes me respect it a lot, so it's just going straight to S tier. So anyways, here we have all the English letters rank. Tell me in the comments what you think of my ranking, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.